Hey y'all, and welcome to Watch Cheryl Scrap. I have a little bit of a longer video for you today, but I'm going to try to explain some things to you for using a digital files. And today I'm using this cute photo of my niece, and I'm combining it with a cut file from Paige Evans. It's a free cut file from her new Facebook group, and I'll put the link in the description box below so you can check that out if you're interested in getting this cut file. And as you can see right now, I'm just reducing the size of the cut file a little bit and you know, kind of moving it around a little bit. And I'm going to be combining this cut file with Paige's Turn the Page collection, and it is the digital version of her collection. So right now what I've done is I have placed a white background in the back, just so as I'm building my layout there'll be something back there for y'all. You won't be distracted by the transparent background. And I also turned the cut file white just so I could see a little bit better. So I've opened up this cut apart sheet, and I want to choose the little happy as can be little speech bubble. So what I've done is use my magic selection tool, and I have, it's actually the magic wand tool, and I just clicked on the solid area in there and selected it. I'm duplicating the cut apart sheet layer and then pressing delete so that it deletes the background, and it's going to just make it easier for me to digitally cut that piece out. So you could use your lasso tool, which is the third tool down, but I'm going to the fourth tool down and I'm choosing the quick selection tool, and basically you're just kind of clicking and it just starts selecting the entire area. And I'm going to use the shortcut key for Photoshop, Control C, to copy that, and then I'll move back over to my canvas where I'm building my layout. I'll switch over there and I'll press Control V to paste it. So after looking through the kit and seeing this cut file, I decided that what I wanted to do, I really love the butterfly paper, and I'm going to do the same method, which is to get the magic wand tool. I'm going to click on that white cream color background to select it, and then I'm going to duplicate that background layer and just turn the background off and just work on the duplicate layer and delete that background. Again, this is just going to make it easier for me to select the butterflies. And I'm going to be following the same, again, the same method of selection. I'm going to be using the quick selection tool, but again, like I said, you could use a variety of the lasso tools to select the butterflies that you need, but you can see how quick and easy it is just to click on the areas of the butterfly, and then I'm going to press Control C, move back over to my digital layout here, and press Control V, and there is the happy little butterfly. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it, and I will add a shadow. I like to shadow as I go. It just really just gives me a better feel, almost like I'm building a paper layout, because in a paper layout you would go ahead and see the dimension as you build, especially if you're putting pop dots and stuff underneath your elements. So for quite some time here you're going to see me doing the same, you know, coming back over, selecting the butterfly that I want, copying it, and moving back over to my canvas where I'm building my layout, and pressing Control V to paste it. So hopefully, as you see me continue to repeat this process, you will, you know, it'll make it easy for you to do this yourself. Also, when I'm selecting, you see the little ants that are marching around the selection, the little dotted line that's kind of wiggling. When I want to select a new butterfly to make the old ants go away, I press Control D, so that deselects. You could also go to, I think it's just select on your top menu, and then it's like right underneath. You have deselect and reselect. So my idea again is to build, a ring around. I've already got the ring with the cut file, and I'm gonna be, just continuing to fill that in. And I've got my selection made. I'm going back over. And I'm going to try to, space out the colors. So I will move things around here and there, especially as I start adding another, like a square. I think it came from the 2x2 paper pad. When I add that and another speech bubble, I'll add the one that says yes. And I end up doing that later off camera. But yeah, I'll just be moving these around as I need to when other things start coming in. Okay, so you see me selecting that butterfly again. So I'll talk while you see me doing this repeatedly. I didn't speed up this video because, again, like I said, I wanted you to be able to watch the method and be able to duplicate it for yourself, should you, choose to do that. So I'll just talk to you a little bit about the photo. So this is, again, like I said, my niece. She came to visit, and her dad is my brother. He is 20 years younger than I am. So he's currently in the military, and he, has deployments and such, but we do get to see him from time to time, and this was a fabulous visit. So not only did I get to see my brother, but I got to see my niece and nephew, and of course my sister-in-law as well. And we all get together with family, and I have lots of pictures of them as well, which I'll be making layouts soon with those photos. But little Miss Gemma is just, you can tell by looking at this photo, that child has mischief in her eyes. They just really twinkle. Her eyes just twinkle, especially when she's up to something. So she came to my dad's, which is her pawpaw's, and she had picked out her own clothes, and I'll have a different layout that has more of her outfit in it. But you can see here she's holding on. She has her jewelry, so she has a little ring on her finger. She's holding her necklace, which again I have close-ups of that. And something else, she has her little barrettes in her hair, and she has a little tiara that she's wearing as well. And she was absolutely adorable. And because I always ask, because she's 6, did mom pick your clothes? And she's like, oh no, she picked her own clothes. And so she's a little fashionista, which I just think is so funny. She also recently, I didn't know it was such a thing, but they do have Facebook Messenger for kids. So if your kids have the appropriate devices, and that's something that you're willing to let them do, you can give them permission to do that, and her mom did. So she has access to talk to, her family members that her mom has set up for her, and I was one of them. So she has been sending me the funniest little, they're almost like Snapchat pictures, but it's using a different app. But it's funny to go back and forth with her, and they don't live here, so It's nice to be able to have some fun communication with her and, you know, continue to get to know her even though she's not here. So I think that last butterfly that I brought in was one of the ones in the elements in the kit, I think. No, I'm still cutting. Sorry, I got busy talking and I forgot what I was doing there. Uh, so anyway, it's just it's delightful to be an aunt. Uh, uh, most of um, you know, I'm older now, so having the little one around is uh, a little bit different, you know, when you're used to your kids being, you know, almost 13 and the other one's in college. So when I say she has energy, man, she just runs rings around me. But I love to watch her. I just can't keep up with her these days. Yeah, so the night that they came over, we went to my dad's and we had a barbecue. So we were outside in my dad's backyard while he was grilling, and he actually did barbecue ribs. They were so good. So you can see me here. I pulled in this background paper, and I'm not going to leave it. I'm going to cut out the center of it and have it be almost like a frame for my page. So you can see me using the rectangular marquee tool, and I'm just selecting the center portion of that quilt type paper. And I'm just going to duplicate that, so once I've selected it, I'll, you know, just select inverse to get that outer edge. And then, so there's a little frame for my page. Now you will see later on, and I do this off camera so you'll notice this when we get to the final image at the end, is that the two squares on the bottom left and right are pretty dark, and I do some selections and just replace the color for from some other pieces that were in the digital collection. So I just used the eyedropper tool and picked the color and then selected the red and blue areas and then just replaced them with a different color. So here's that. I think it's just a piece of word art. It's not part of the 2x2 pack, but I will put it up here at the top. This is where it's going to stay. And then I'm going to back it with this beautiful floral paper. It's so pretty. So I'm just using my rectangular marquee tool again. And this butterfly is a gold kind of butterfly gold foiling, and I do add that, I think, down towards the bottom. So I'm at the point now where I think I'm going to start pulling in different pieces from the elements in the kit. And you know, if you have the entire paper collection, you know how many pieces there are, and the digital collection, you know, it's not any different from that. It is completely full. The papers, the elements. Of course, there's not going to be, you know, like little puffy stickers that you think of and that sort of thing. There's some things that, you know, I can change, but for the most part, all the images are the same. Now the happy as can be, I pulled from the gold foil cut apart sheet, and I did choose to go with the non-foil because I felt like I could read it better. So I do replace that off camera as well. So now I'm adding in these wee bitty tiny flowers that are so sweet. And I'm just starting to pull them and scatter them around. You can see they're all over the page. And then you'll see me select them. And I just, while I have them selected and I'm clicking with the mouse, I'm pressing the Alt key down on my keyboard, and that actually duplicates that entire set of flowers. And then I'll just start moving them around as well. And then I duplicate it yet another time. And that's fabulous, you know, because you will run out of flowers in a, you know, paper embellishment kit, but with digital I can duplicate these to my heart's content. And I'm going to add this little cutest tag down on the bottom left of the photo. I'm just reducing the size of that quite a bit. Now I think my journaling I know is off camera, and it'll be in word strips right there in that space that I'm working in that's to the left of the photo. That's where the word strips will go. And now I'm just adding in some flowers. So again, when you see me not doing anything, I'm looking at my other screen. I have dual monitors. And that's where I'm looking at my digital supplies. And so I'm just going through them just like you would ruffle through, you know, your paper supplies. The next time I do a layout, I'll have to pull over my pullover bridge so that you can see, you know, what I'm looking through and how I'm picking. So again, just adding some more flowers in. Oh, they're just so gorgeous. The colors, oh, I'm just in love with them. So you see me, I duplicated that flower arrangement, and I'm rotating it, trying to decide where I want to put it. I end up popping it up there, and then I duplicate the one that was at the corner of the photo and bring that up. So it's layered. And the other thing I do off camera, which I didn't record because this, you know, this video is already pretty long, but I do custom shadows. So, you know, I'm actually applying the style, the shadow style to the elements as I go, but I do separate the shadow from the element so that I can manipulate it, and it gives it a more realistic feel to the page. So you can tell when we get to the end here that the final layout has the custom shadows to it. And it's going to look a little different from, you know, what you're seeing here on screen. Most of the changes are subtle, but they make a difference to me, what I like to look at when I look at my albums. Thought I was going to add in that other butterfly, but then I thought better of it, I think. So again, I'm just over there hunting through all the supplies to find what I want to use. And another butterfly surprise. So I do add it off camera, but there's the Hey Girl, and then there's the Happy as Can Be. And when I finished the layout, because I knew I was going to add my journaling, and I felt like that would balance out those two pieces of word art, but they just really didn't. So I do add another speech bubble that says yes, and that will be right where I'm putting that butterfly now, that big yellow butterfly. It's going to be right in that area. And I think I do a lot of moving around after I stop the camera because I continue to fuss with it. So in the final layout, you'll also see that a lot of the butterflies have reduced in size, and they look a little different. So here you can see I've pulled in some sequins from another digital kit, and I believe these are by Valorie Wibbens, and I'll have that linked in the description box below. But I like having you know, sequins to add to a page, and super easy to get them where I want them to. After I added the sequins, I almost added a couple of enamel dots too, but I just really felt like it was overkill. It was too much of the little shiny bits, so I just stayed with the there it is. There's that little enamel dot, and I pull it in, and I'm just like, you know, this is not really gonna work for me. So I just I take it off. It was gonna have to be either or, and I just really liked the way the sequins looked. And now I'm just moving the sequins were up at the very top of the layers, and I'm just moving it down so it's like sitting right on top of the papers, the background paper. That's what I'm just fussing with here. I ended up deleting something that I shouldn't have deleted, so I had to go backwards. You can see me messing with that here. Going back and finding those sequins and getting them moved down. Again, another fabulous thing about digital is if you make a mistake, it's easy to press the undo button most of the time. I'm just moving that little sequin over. And I'm moving that little flower under that edge of that paper frame around the layout. And then I'm just pulling that cut file. Once I've gotten the paper I want on top of it, I'm moving it down. Now I've decided I want to move the interior of the contents. I just don't want to move that frame, so I'm selecting everything and then deselecting the frame. And now I can move everything, kind of adjust it over. It was a little too far to the right. So really easy just to grab everything and move it over. Oh yeah, and I do add paint. If you think there isn't enough on here already, I do add some paint to this layout. So you can see me starting to move things around a little bit. I really love how this turned out. It was just beautiful, you know, the pieces are beautiful and then everything just came together so quickly. So here you're going to see the final layout. You can see I've moved some things, made them smaller, and added those custom shadows which make it pop. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something today.